Good morning, everyone. Just kind of walking around. It might be a little windy. I might go back inside and do this if it's too noisy, if it sounds like too much. I'll get this beautiful view behind me. That'll work better than anything else. Hopefully this isn't too loud. I'll do it again if it's too loud. Um, just a real quick video. I think maybe I'll step over here behind the camper. It might break the wind a little bit. Yeah, that's good. I think that's better. Just a quick video. It's hard because it's not anything too profound. It's something that I think that we know, that we've heard, and that those that are, consider them light bearers, star seeds, light workers, whatever you want to call it, resonate with this. And it's about being an anchor and your specific energy. Aside from the mission that you may have here personally, that's your own mission, we have a collective mission. There's a specific group of awakened individuals that are star seeds that resonate to the different messages about being that other type of entity, so to speak. You know who you are. I had a couple of days just not too long ago, probably 2 or 3 days ago. It was when everybody was kind of feeling this, like a real low energy. Everybody felt it here, even though they didn't realize that we're collectively feeling it. But I was pulled into some pretty, tempted into some pretty negative, lower frequency emotions through some very, very close to my heart. There's only two things that are so close to my heart that they can get my attention, and it usually isn't for very long. So I was pulled into this place, and it was painful, and it lowered my frequency tremendously, and I could feel it. I could feel the whole shift just from my own frequency being lowered. And so for a couple of days, I actually stayed there, which is the longest I've ever. It was probably a full day. The next day was all about transforming out of it. So when I did this, I realized that these things that were being proposed to me, that they were things I desire. I know I have no needs, but I do have desires. I still do. And they're two very close to my heart, very, very, very close to my heart. And they were pulling me. Of course, once again, it was so that I could experience what I needed to experience, so that I could bring the information to you. This is how it always works. So I got to this place. I went up to my meditation spot, and I just sat with Father alone, and I cried, and I poured my heart out, and I felt nothing. I felt no release. I didn't feel anything. And it was through the course of the rest of the day that I realized, and the next day is when I had this vision, that it didn't matter to me. That even these most precious things, these two things that are the closest to my heart, that run my heart, a lot of the times, if I never saw those desires on this side of things, that I was okay with that. And I just said, Father, it doesn't matter to me. I know this isn't about me. This is about all. This is about this mission. This is about every single entity, spark of Father that exists. And it is a love unity that has to do with all of us connected. It is not single to one individual in this process. And I know that. I know why I'm here. And so I basically just sacrificed what was taking place, even though it was really hurting me. And I said, Father, it doesn't matter to me. You know my heart. And I'm doing this regardless. And if I have to face, because that's what I was being told in my heart, you have to face this mission without those desires being fulfilled. Not on this side of things anyway. And I kind of had hopes that maybe it was going to happen in this way, And so I let it go. And I did it in that deep part of your heart, that center place. You know what I'm talking about. I've mentioned it before. It's that little tiny shift that only you and Father, the Christ, see shift. And when that shifted and I just relinquished it to him, bang, boom, everywhere, boom, 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 confirmation, that I had reached a place of understanding. And in that night, I received this vision. And the first thing I saw was a process that's called electroplating, and you may be familiar with it, but it's basically where you take a non-precious metal and you can attach precious silver or gold to it through this frequency, this electronic current that actually brings the gold down and collects it to the metal and glues it onto it. So then that what used to be, key word, remember that, is now something that's new. It's a precious, beautiful gold. It's been made new. And this is the frequency that does this. And that was the first thing I saw. And then I saw Earth, Gaia, Mom. And I saw this blanket of frequency around her, but it actually looked like a physical blanket, and it was wavering in wind like a parachute would but was attached. It was attached by frequency strings, if you will, connections. And it was doing this, and it was moving closer, like that electroplating process. It was being pulled into the earth. And this was the fifth dimension. And I saw this, and it was quite amazing. And then I was told very clearly, you see all those little connections? They look like strings of light all throughout the blanket. on the inside and on the edges. It was almost like sacred geometry. There were lots of corners, like little tiny, pointed areas on the outside of it. And each one of these points in the middle and on the edge had a string of light attached to it in varied strategic places on planet Earth. And these lights were pulling this blanket in, working very hard to attach it to the Earth so that it would cover it in this electroplating process. It was a combination of vision. And then I was told very clearly that there are specific individuals in this awakenedness, in this scenario that we're in, that have a specific job. Every single person that is awake right now has a specific job. I'm not negating that. But these are specific people that this resonates with them. You know who you are. You're a light worker, starseed. You have a specific calling, and you know what it is, and this will resonate with you if it's you, and if it doesn't, that's all right too. It gives you understanding of what's taking place. We are standing in a place where this fifth dimension is hovering so close to our planet. The third dimension for me has been gone for some time, and I teeter between the fourth and the fifth all the time. And so now this is what this meant for me, was to understand that if you are one of these individuals, one of these light strings that's attached to this dimension, one of your missions, the one that's collective, not your missions that you're doing on your own, which I know you have them. I have mine too. But one of that we're doing collectively is this body of people that have a specific frequency, is to tether, hold, and be a point of light to grab onto this fifth dimension and anchor it into the earth. We are the ground crew. We also have a sky crew, a crew that chose not to come down here, incarnation, and stayed in the ether on the other side of this dimension. And they're working there as we work here, and collectively we're bringing this thing into place. Hence this frequency. Now, we've known that low frequencies are intended to keep us from seeing the truth, doing our mission, be connected to source, and having our superpowers, if it will. We know this, but for some reason this time it was so profound. So it hit me so profoundly that I made a decision, and I'm going to stick with that decision. And this is to implore you, if this resonates with you, if you hear this, to stick with this decision too, because it's time. And what I saw when I saw myself, I saw my own light. It was singled in down in this vision, my own light, my own little light string, and the blanket of frequency of the fifth dimension was doing this, but the wind was blowing it up and away. And it was this one little corner that wasn't tethered anymore. And I was like, oh my goodness. And then I saw that once I anchored that back in and I got back on the frequency that I am designed to be in, my true frequency, all of our true frequencies, it snugged right back down and hovered real close to the earth. And it was no longer flapping. It was kind of vibrating, pulling in closer, 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 closer. And I saw a completed vision that it will eventually completely connect. And it's funny because Yeshua spoke about this whole, there's going to be a new earth and a new heaven. Yeah, there is. And that's what this is. And this is happening now. So I implore you, if this resonates with you and you are one of these beings that is an anchor to this situation, when these frequencies come and the closest things to your heart and your compassion that can prick you the closest, and I mean these are low blows, man, they're low. They go right for the heart, right for the very thing that drives your crazy heart. And you're a crazy-hearted person if you're listening to this and it resonates. I made a decision, a full, solid decision, that doesn't matter what is proposed to me that I don't get to see or feel. That is a desire, not a need. I don't have needs. I've come to that conclusion. I know everything I need comes from who I truly am, connected to my Creator, my Father. But I do have desires. That's natural. Father does too. We are just like Him. But I made a decision that regardless of those desires coming to pass here or on the other side, doesn't matter to me. I'm moving forward, and I'm going to just simply use the understanding of my mission and the great joy of the party we're going to have after this is all over to stay in this frequency, because I saw that corner flip up and start to come away from the earth because of my lowered frequency. And I'll admit it freaked me right out. I'm like, oh no, not on my watch. So I'm putting this information out because we've heard it before, but there's something different. At least for me, there was something very different. Something like, make it or break it. You know what I mean? We've been learning this, but now it's time to either apply it or move out of the way. I know that sounds really harsh, but I know what I'm doing. I just wanted to throw it out there for you. I love you guys so much. I'm hoping that this finds everyone well, and I'm going to be holding each and every one of you that this resonates with. I'm going to be holding you in this so that you reach the place where you can make this decision, and we need to hold it. No more wavering, no more going there, no more believing any of the lies, any of them, no matter how convincing they are. So anyways, that's just it. Pretty simple, small, 10 minutes. That's it. And as you can see, we're going to be getting some weather here. So you can see the clouds. So we've got some flood warnings and some snow possibly coming, all kinds of fun stuff. So anyways, I wonder what the sky is looking like up there. Oh, I'd have to tip it this way. You don't see anything too overwhelming, just sky, not too bad. But anyways, beautiful day on the desert. I love you. We are personally kind of holding our own. Still, the job thing. There's no more matrix job for me. I'm pretty sure of it. This is full-time focus on what's happening in the reality of this circumstance that we find ourselves in. So we're still just dependent on what Father is going to place before us, and He does, right? Every time we have something that we need, it's placed before us. So we're doing fine. But once again, if you are moved to help in your heart, go for it, because that may be Father's way of meeting a need that we have. If not, no big deal. But we're doing really good. Everything is it's just kind of amazing. Ooh, I saw a water drop on my phone. I better go cover the firewood. We're starting to get some spit. I better hang this up. I love you guys, and I'll be coming to you soon. Have a great day. Mwah.